The chicken farmers of Saskatchewan have established a fund to support poultry research, mainly conducted at the University of Saskatchewan. This funding has resulted in findings that can be applied at the farm level to improve bird health, welfare, and production. Several Saskatchewan researchers have received international recognition for their research contributions, largely supported by CFS.
Having healthy and happy birds is my top priority. To do this, we have a number of fancy controllers, alarm systems, video monitoring, ventilation equipment to ventilate the barns with programmable controllers. Everything in here you see basically is automatic. The feeding systems are automatic. So when this feed pan over here empties, there's a sensor in there. And once it goes below the sensor, it fills those guys up all the time. So the idea being is that they always have feed. They're never without full supply of feed or water. Out here they have city water, so they have the same water that everyone else would drink in the city of Saskatoon, which is pretty important, so really good water. Up on the ceiling, you'll see the white things on the ceiling there. Those are all air inlets, so it lets fresh air in the barn all the time, so they got fresh air. And then those fans on the side and the fans at the back are drawing bad air out and keeping the temperature perfect for them in here at all times. And then there's fans on the ceiling that circulate the air around to make sure the air is not stale anywhere, and also as a way to move heat around too as well. So there's a boiler system that runs along the roof, and there's also these two forced air heaters because it's got to be 34 degrees when the birds come. No matter if it was minus 50 out, this barn can stay any temperature you want it to be and comfortable for the chicks all the time. So I put in a camera system when I bought this place. If you've got to leave for a couple hours at a time or go somewhere, you can check your cameras and you can pretty much tell if anything is wrong with the barn by looking at the cameras. If there's chicks not in an area or there's too many in one area, that'll tell you what's wrong, as well as the monitoring system. Check the temperature, check the humidity, water consumption, feed consumption, and you can adjust on your phone if there's a problem. So this is constantly weighing the birds all day long, every day, as obviously weight of the bird is critical to understanding health. If they're eating properly, drinking properly, they love this. We're here, so we're scaring them a little bit, but normally this is right full of chicks. This is one of their favorite places to be in the barns, on top of the scale.
And the cool thing about those scales is that they can actually figure out how many birds are standing on them. So in the computer program, there's target weights for the birds, and they'll use those, and the computer will calculate an average weight without having to do a real count on the birds that are on them.
And it's amazing how accurate this scale has been. So it's a really helpful tool in managing the barn.
So when Cameron was talking about having temperature, humidity, and other sensors in the barn, you can see that they're on a wire, and he's got it very close to floor level, which is where the birds are hanging out. So it's a better representation of what the birds are exposed to, as opposed to what people are exposed to higher up. And so another thing is when producers are choring in their barns, they always want to make sure that the birds can access water and feed. So you'll notice that the water lines are very close to the ground. It's because the chicks are very short. As they get bigger, all of the lines are on a winch system, and the producers can use the winch system to raise the water and feed pans to the level that's appropriate for their size.
So this is the brains of the operation in there that controls all the automation, the heating, the ventilation, turns fans on if it's too hot in there, or turns fans on if it's too humid in there. The brains of it is essentially here. This has got controls for all that stuff that I mentioned. You can control your heating, control your temperature, all that sort of things. And then we have some fans systems here, all your buttons to turn everything on and off up here. But again, this controls everything else that's out here.